Yo, hey guys, welcome to Dropship Mindset. This is a new channel I've just made literally today, just to bring some value, man, to the community out there, to all those people that are looking and trying to find a way to make money online. Um, yeah, by the way, there's of course, there's tons of information online, tons of information on YouTube. I think the problem is that um, as people watch more and more videos, they get more confused about which way to go, who to trust. So I thought I'd make a video for those people that are sort of starting at the base level, that haven't really got anything to invest or don't want to invest anything. Um, well, more for those people that haven't got. People that don't want to, they got a bigger problem really, because they don't really understand how things work. Like, you reap what you sow. You have to sort of put something in to get something out. If you're not going to put your money in, then you definitely got to put time in. So if you're not willing to invest in it financially, then you're going to have to put some time into whatever it is you're going to do. So yeah, we're dealing with drop shipping. So what is a drop shipper? A drop shipper is basically a middleman, or a middlewoman if you like, and they are a buyer and seller. So you will be advertising products which you will get from various suppliers, and upon a customer purchasing the product, you will go and buy the product and send it, ship it, have it delivered to the customer that's purchased. So currently, and as of the last couple of years, the main avenues of drop shipping, the main platforms that are being used are Shopify, Amazon, and eBay. I started with Shopify actually, but I didn't quite see it through, because at the time it was kind of asking too much from me in terms of time and financial investment. Because the thing is with Shopify is that your Shopify store is going to be a standalone website. You're not using someone else's platform. So in other words, you're opening a new shop on a new road, and customers are not coming down that road at the moment. So yeah, that's the problem. When you open a new shop, you need to also understand how to get customers, how to get what they call traffic. Traffic just means people coming to your shop. So Amazon and doing it on Amazon and eBay is almost like opening a store in the mall, or what we call the shopping center over here in the UK. So you're guaranteed customers, you're guaranteed traffic, you're guaranteed a flow of people on these platforms. So you ain't got to be concerned with bringing in traffic. Traffic is an issue when you're first starting, because you obviously don't know the various methods, whether it be free traffic or paid traffic. You don't know how to even operate. You don't really understand what it means. So that's why I chose to leave Shopify alone for that period of time, and I went onto eBay. I chose eBay over Amazon simply because I knew more about eBay, but eBay has the lowest barrier of entry, because to start you don't need to do anything. You don't need to pay anything. Sorry, you need to do stuff, but you don't need to pay anything to just get started. You can literally get started now. You can minimize this screen and put it in the bottom left hand corner as a tiny little box. You can put this little screen right here, minimize it as much as you want, and then the rest of the screen you can use to actually do what we're going to go through here. And within a short space of time, you'll become quick at doing this process, and yeah, you'll be able to make money online. It's really as simple as that. So yeah, in terms of barrier of entry, you don't need anything to get started today. You don't need any money to get started today. All you need to do is take action, open up your eBay account, or open up a new eBay account if you don't want to mess with your old one. If you've made some random sales on an eBay account, even better, because you can use that. You've got some feedback already. So yeah, get started. Open up your account, register if you haven't got one, and go straight to create a listing. And we're going to run through how to create a listing. It's pretty straightforward. We're going to go for a basic method for you to be able to like get up and running, get some products up, and hopefully, be able to make some sales. It could be as soon as today, it could be tomorrow, it could be next week, but you will make sales providing your advertising. Simple as that. You will make sales at some point, providing your prices are not, ridiculously high. So let's get into it. This is the third or fourth time I tried to record this. So I've already chosen a product. I've basically filled in the listing more or less. So we're just going to run through it as quick as possible for you to get an understanding. And if you need to go back on certain things, fair enough, just go back. But it's really straightforward. It's got about 5 or 6 parts to it. And it's very straightforward, very easy for you to understand. You'll become familiar with it very quickly. So yeah, you start with create a listing, right? So we've chosen a garden tool. In terms of choosing items and suppliers, for the sake of this example, I'm using another product from eBay, which is a garden tool. Going forward, you will not want to be using other eBay suppliers, obviously. Currently, I'm not sure if this is allowed or not. When I was doing this to start off a new account last year, I believe, so I was speaking to eBay about it, and they said it was fine, it was allowed at the time. It may still be allowed, I'm not 100% sure about it. eBay sort of change things as you go along, and they don't necessarily inform you, but you have to try and stay up to date. So yeah, that's something going forward you don't want to be doing, but we're doing being able to find items for a low price, being able to find items that are free to post. This is eBay is obviously a good platform and easy to get started with. What else? Yeah, so that's about all you really need to know at the moment. Going forward, in terms of the money that you will invest, you don't really need to know too much. You don't need to know too much at the moment. I mean, at the end of the month, usually is when you are charged fees for selling on eBay, and it ends up being like 12% in total, and that's combining your eBay fees with PayPal fees. It ends up being 12% of every sale. I do believe that you get the first month free, but that's something you might want to double check. So what I would say is the first few months, you're not thinking so much about profit, in the sense that you're not thinking like, yeah, I'm going to make a killing in the first couple months. It doesn't mean you're not going to. It just means that your mindset shouldn't be just thinking about what I'm going to get for it. Actually, you can make a ridiculous amount of money in a short space of time on eBay, but it's just about how you approach it and how you build your account. Your first month could be really lucrative. You can make a considerable amount of profit in your first month. I'm just telling you how to approach it in terms of your mindset, because in the first 90 days, you're going to be in a thing called PayPal jail, which is where eBay put a hold on your finances via PayPal, so you will not be able to access your money straight away. What do I mean? You will not be able to access the money that the customers have paid you straight away. You will have to wait until you've uploaded tracking details and your item has been delivered. And when your item is delivered, usually your money is released. Now, they're not 100% strict with this. When I started, I didn't really have anything, and I just sort of maneuvered and used what I had and worked with it. Sometimes the money was released quickly, sometimes it was available straight away. I used it and I just maneuvered, and I got through the period, and I got through it well. So if you're listening to this and you was thinking like, yes, I can get started on something today, and then you heard you need to have a bit of money and you're feeling disheartened, just stop all that right now. Don't feel disheartened. It's a small challenge. Whatever avenue you take in business, there's going to be challenges. And it's going to seem like times where you should just give up, but don't give up. Yeah, just don't give up. And you can create a lane with your desire, with your passion for something. So yeah, that's that. PayPal Joe. So you need to fall back on your own money here and there. That's why we're starting with a low amount in terms of how much we're pricing things for. We're starting by pricing things under £10. So if you do have to spend money out of your own pocket in the early periods, it's not going to be too demanding. And if I haven't said it already, the main two reasons why you want to price things at a reasonable price, meaning starting below £10 for the first 1.5 to 2 weeks, is because you're a new seller on eBay. So you want to build your account gradually. Number one. And number two is the PayPal situation. You don't want to price too high and have to spend too much money of your own. And high price margins and stuff is a guaranteed way to get your money held. So yeah, that's all that. So let's just get into the listing now. So all those things aside, a few of your questions have been answered. If you've got any more questions, just go to the comments. I'll check on here like every day. And if you have any questions, I don't care if it's one person watching, 500 doesn't matter, thousands doesn't matter. Like I'll answer the questions. Every question you have, I'll answer. Providing I have the answer for it. I've made probably more mistakes than anyone on this platform, and that's genuine. The majority of the videos I watch where people say steer away from these problems, I've made the mistakes of falling into them. So yeah, I can definitely answer a lot of questions on this whole eBay dropshipping thing. So yeah, this is applicable to probably most countries, definitely applicable to the UK and the US. So yeah, man, let's get cracking and get this stuff listed. Yeah, so the first screen you'll see when you've gone to create a listing is this one that's on the screen right now. As you can see, these 3 drafts are the previous attempted recordings. So anyway, you'll start off by typing in what it is that you're trying to sell. So we've already chosen a garden tool. As I said, you can just start off by choosing some items on eBay that are below that you can price below £10. So if you can find items below sort of £7 would be good for the first week or so, and then you'll go on to finding other items from other suppliers. In terms of suppliers, you can ask in the comments. I can get you a list of suppliers. It's no problem, guys, and you can decide and choose what suppliers suit you and what type of things you want to sell. We just want to get the ball rolling today. We don't want to think too much. Going forward, you're going to need to think about what kind of niche. Yes, I said niche, not niche. The Americans, I know you like to say niche, but over here we got some flavor, you know. In the UK, we say niche. Yeah, so you want to choose what niche you're in. If you're going to go with a niche store, that's more of a towards more of a targeted audience. Or you can go with more of a general store. It's completely up to you, but as for this example, and to get the ball rolling and take action, we don't want to think too much, just want to choose something. If you want to choose a similar item to what I've chosen on here, then fair enough. As we can see, this item is sold over 1,000, so it's doing pretty well. If you could advertise it in the right way, then you could do the job. So the first thing we see when we come into, let's just go back quickly. So we type in that, we get various options, and we don't need to choose any of them. We can just click on get started, and then eBay gives us a list of similar items that are in their catalog. I always ignore all of these, go straight to the bottom, so we can completely create a new product. We don't want to be sort of connected with any previous products of theirs. Even if you see your item there, I just avoid it. Yep, and then we get onto the actual page where actually listing now, yeah? So this is how the title box would look when you first come. It's completely empty. The title is basically this long line of words, double line of words you can see here. And that's how you'll kind of find the item. So in filling that in, you can use a combination of the title you found the item as being named. Obviously, if you're doing it on eBay for the initial period, they will have a title. You don't want to copy the title. You want to create your own original title. For the sake of speed, I won't get into explaining all the ins and outs of titles, but you don't want to create an identical listing to the one you found. You want yours to be unique, yours to be original, right? It's not an original product. It's not really an original listing, but you want to create it and publicize it in an original way. You want to market it in an original way, right? So you can use a combination of their title, take the things that make sense in their title, and you can use another website called Title Builder. Just type Title Builder into your Google or your search engine, and then when you come to the Title Builder home, it will look like that, and then you click on Title Builder here. Title Builder is a website that you will find on many tutorials. It's kind of the website that people give away, and it's not really the one it's probably not the method they really use. But funny enough, what I found is that simplicity is really the key, and a lot of the words that Title Builder comes up with are actually really effective. I think a lot of people steer away from it as they get more experience, and it seems like a tool for beginners, but the keywords it uses are actually effective. So it's good to just keep things simple, man. The more people that are seeing your ad, the more likely it is to sell, right? So it's as simple as that. And then on top of that, as you're increasing the amount of ads you've got, the more likely you are to increase sales. And then obviously there's more that goes into it, but this is what we're saying. To start off with, this is a great way to do it, rather than just sort of coming up with a title out of your mind. You of course, we all think we're smart, we think we know it all, but we are not like dictionary, so it's better to just use this tool and let it do the work for you. So yeah, choose what country you're in. So I'm in the UK, so it's going to give me words that are more relative to where I am. Then it gives you a list of words that are highly connected to the item that you've put into this box, right? And it ranks the words as well and puts them in order of ranking. So what you can do is now you can copy and paste them from here, but what you would do is actually got the exact item actually that we're doing, so that's obviously a popular one. So as you can see, that these are ordered and they're in like a ranking order, right? These 3 ones with the yellow star are the highly searched terms that are connected to what we've typed in, more or less exactly what we've typed in. And then going on, we can see these various other words that are also connected. The wider this bar is here, obviously the higher ranking it is. I don't need to explain that to you, you can see for yourself. So we can just remove the things using this remove button. We can remove the ones that are irrelevant, are not useful to us. So hand, cleaning, no. Paving, handle, no. Soil, maybe. Weed, okay. Change, no. Rake, no. Patio, good. Garten, sounds like a German word. Could be useful. If you're in Germany, of course, yeah, could be great. Even here you might use it, I don't know. Maybe fork, no good. weeder, okay, that can work. Set, it's not part of the set. Gardening, it is a gardening tool. It's not a multi-tool to my knowledge, but it maybe, don't know what wolf has to do with it. It might be a term that's connected, but I don't know. So usually you can just copy and paste that. All right, I don't want to actually copy it because I think I've still got the one I made earlier there. Yeah, so you can copy and paste those words that you got those words that you got from Title Builder. You can bring them in here and you can rearrange them and sort them out as I've done earlier. That's how I've come up with this. I've made this title from a combination of these words got in Title Builder and the listing itself. So this one is called Garden Patio Weed Knife, Weeding Weeder, and ours is called Garden Weeder Tool, Weed Remover Knife. So it's a combination of similar words, some of the same words, but strategized in a different way, and therefore will bring a different result. Be placed differently in the rankings, and you can't expect to be ranked as highly as that other listing. That listing's been selling for some time. It's got a high amount of numbers, but someone may just type in let's see, someone may just type in, okay, they haven't got the word handheld, so someone may just type in handheld weeding knife, and yours will probably come up before theirs because they haven't got handheld in it. I can't say these things for sure because sometimes listing with this listing's powerful because it's done so well, but the whole point of using different words is that you will come up for various searches. That's why you want to combine the most powerful keywords. These are called keywords, by the way, to bring the best result. And you can't just sort of imagine them. So that's how you make titles. Make it a quick process. I've given you quite a long explanation. There's a lot more that goes into titles that I could say or speak to you about, but you don't need that for now. Make this a quick process. Don't think about it too much. If you're doing it now, don't think about it too much. Just go into Title Builder, type in your word, type in your item. Remember, you don't have to say garden tool. I could have said garden weeding tool. I could have said weeder. Come up with some different things, throw them together, put them together so that they make sense, right? And then you want to fill out this thing as much as possible so you ain't got no more space left. Each word starting with a capital letter with one space in between every word, right? And don't repeat the same word. Then you go on further down. You'll come to every category you see with an asterisk means it needs to be filled in. So category right here, right after title. Just make sure it's correct. It's usually set from the screen before when you filled in what you wanna sell. It's usually filled in from there, but you just want to make sure that it's correct. Then you'll have EAN number. If you do have that, that will be provided from the supplier where you've got your item from. If it's not available, then don't worry about it. Just put it does not apply. Condition, usually new, with a new item. If it's something else and you fill it in. So yeah, if you're dealing with eBay products for the beginning, just make sure that they're new. So going on to pictures, it's as simple as you'll be going on to pictures, right clicking them, and then, you'll be going into the pictures and saving them, right? But going forward, this is not going to be the practice going forward. Going forward, you want to be using picture editors, uploading these pictures you've saved into them, and then beginning to edit them and manipulate them. You don't just want to duplicate, you don't just want to copy. This picture itself actually is not one to be used because these people have put like a little logo in the middle, more than likely to prevent people from copying it because it's a well-selling item and whatever else. So yeah, going forward, you want to be creating your own pictures, but for the sake of getting the ball rolling and getting started and not thinking too much, you want to just go and grab some pictures from somewhere, from whatever the item is. So before you select an item, make sure the pictures are decent. and or you can get decent pictures of it. It doesn't have to be from that exact place you get the item. You might find pictures somewhere else. So yeah, you can just copy them and save them. Just a quick explanation, there's also a lot that goes into pictures in terms of how you can edit them and stuff, but it's as simple as using a picture editor. Go onto Google, type in picture editor. There's various kinds you can use. I'm not going to name drop any. If you're struggling with that, of course, once again, whatever you're struggling with, you can ask in the comments and we can address. But for now, as I said, you don't need to do that process, but going forward it will be something you need to incorporate. YouTube has a recommended size that you need to sort of adhere to, you need to stick to. So not all the pictures that you save will fit this sort of size recommendation thing. Some will work, some may not. So in the picture editors, you can resize things. So you'll need to go onto Google. It's as simple as typing in if you're having a problem uploading a picture, all you need to do is find a picture editor. After you've saved your picture, find a picture editor, go into it, create a new picture, and then search for the recommended eBay picture sizes or picture dimensions on eBay, and it will random websites, even the eBay website, will give you the recommended size in pixels. It will be I think it's width by height. It will tell you what they are. You just go to the picture editor and you create a picture of that size. It's as simple as that, and then you upload your picture that you saved into that, and you can download it. It's very simple, very straightforward. Then you've got a new picture of the same thing, or you can edit it in there if you feel comfortable to edit it, and you have a new picture that's resized. It's very simple. But for the sake of this, as we're starting with eBay products, obviously all the pictures will be already sized in the right way as they're on eBay. And just make sure that they haven't got logos like this in the middle. Otherwise, it's you can't really be using other people's logo in the middle. But if as you're starting, you may do it. You just want to get the ball. Don't let anything hold you back from getting your listing up today. Get your listing up. Get the ball rolling. Get to 10 listings and then start to incorporate the skills. Because after 10 listings, you will feel comfortable. You will understand. You would have had some views. You would have had some watchers. You will feel comfortable. So moving on, you got pictures. Get up to 6 pictures if you want. Obviously, you can do up to 12, but 6 is a recommended amount. If you can get that amount, if you can't, it's all good. Just even if you can get 1 for the time being, go with it. So going down, you got brand. Type in your brand. If your item has a brand. If it doesn't, you can type in unbranded. It's got a list of different brands. The brand of your item may not be here. Doesn't matter. Just type it in if it is. If it isn't, if you don't have a brand, as I said, put unbranded. Manufacturer part number. If you have it, put it in. If not, does not apply. And then you continue to fill out all the categories as much as you can. And then if you have any more information, you can add custom specific, where you can type in, if you've got height, width and depth for the item, you can write width in there, type in width. Yeah. If you've got height, you can type in your height. No, 60 centimeters. And so on and so forth, and type in whatever you can that's relevant. So then I grabbed this from the other listing earlier. Usually you'll just get your title, paste it in here as a title. This description you're seeing is taken from here. So you want to make your own description, so you will formulate these words in your own words, or you can write literally your own words about the tool. You might say perfect. So they've said perfect for clearing weeds. You might say ideal for I don't know how to speak this garden language. Ideal for uprooting and bleeding throughout your whole garden and patio. This tool allows you to effortlessly, and so on and so forth, guys. Yeah, I don't need to go through it all. So they've given quite a short one. This is a pretty straightforward product. That's why some products will have loads of specifics, like loads of little details. They'd have like a massive description. You want to put these things in your own words. You want to use as much of the keywords in your title as possible. Still, you want it to make sense. You don't want to spend too long on it. Once again, you want to make it as quick as possible. Things like this, you want to get them into specifics, and that's it. Get rid of stuff like that, obviously. Then you move on. Fixed price, of course. If you'll be selling things for a fixed price, not auction. You'll select the price. Now we're dealing with price, so we're dealing with things that are below £10, so keep it $9.99 and below. So remember, generally you'll be paying like 15% when you first start, all your fees combined. That's something you can go and check, or we can speak about afterwards. For now, as I said, just get the ball rolling. So obviously the cheaper the item is, the kind of the higher you can mark it up in a sense. So what I mean by that is, if I was to double this, I mean, you could probably still sell this for like $9.99. You could sell this for $7.99. You could sell this for $6.99, and I don't think people will look at you too crazy, So you select your price, what kind of price margin you're going to mark it up. You might say 30%. If it's 30%, you can literally type this in a calculator for $4.95, and then say plus 30%. Or for those that know how to operate with a calculator better, you might say times 0.3, 0.30, whatever, and you get the additional price you need to add on to that. So yeah, to get it all in one, it would be $4.95 times a 1.3, the 1 representing 100%, and then the 3 representing the extra 30% on top. For those that understand how to use a calculator and get maths, they will understand that completely. Some of you won't, but it's all good. To be honest, I didn't. Like, I was in the top class in maths. I don't know how, honestly. But sometimes just re-familiarizing yourself with these things, So don't be too harsh on yourself if you don't understand what I'm saying. Every calculator has a percentage button, so you can just literally type in 4.95 plus whatever percent you want to add on. Yeah. So for the sake of this example, I've more or less doubled the price and just gone at $9.99. All right, but I would advise you guys to stick around $7.99, $8.99. So yeah. Then you will type in your quantity. I advise you to stick with 1 for now, because you're going to be manually checking. You're going to be manually checking out the amount of stock you have left, right? So you want to make sure that your stock doesn't run out. If this at the moment, okay, this example we're using has more than 10 available. So whatever source of supply you're using, you're going to be checking yourself to see whether they have available stock left or not. So if you put 7 and then 6 orders come through, and you can only get your hands on to that 4 items, you're going to have to start finding a way to make cancellations if you can't find the items anywhere else. So it's a bit early for that. That would be a bit daunting for you. There are ways around it. If you do come across that problem, even with 1 item, if you come across that problem, do not just cancel the order. Get in the comments and ask, and I can help you to resolve that in the best way. So yeah, moving on. We're nearly done now. Moving on, you want to connect your PayPal by clicking on here, saying, yeah, PayPal. Type in your PayPal address, what you're looking at, nosy.com. What you're looking at nosy.com, because you people are too nosy. yeah, you want to make sure that your email address is typed in there accurately. Because if you've got any mistakes in there, it's going to affect your payment in terms of like, even in terms of your first letter being a cap or not. You want to make sure it's all correct. It's connected with your PayPal. Your PayPal should be connected to your account, which you can do through account settings. I think if you haven't done it by now, by the point you're, so I think if you haven't done it by the point you're listing, I think at the end of the listing it will redirect you to do it. But if it doesn't, you can do it through account settings. Very straightforward. So the next option says require immediate payment when buyer uses buy it now. So when a person clicks on buy it now, you're requiring them to make payment. Basically, that means that they're gonna pay. So if they come out of that screen, it's gonna notify you, and you'll be able to notify them and say to them, like, remind them, like, hey, you was at checkout, kind of thing, like, come back and purchase. And they may say like, oh, they don't want it or whatever. So it's good to click on. It might up your conversion rate a little bit. Then you got returns, international returns. Don't worry about that for now. Domestic returns, pretty much compulsory within the 30. They're legally compulsory within the 30 days. Within 30 days, if the item's damaged. Anyway, so it's not much of a choice. But after the 30 days, of course, there are protections in place for you. The customer can't just say, like, force you to accept a return. So then going down, domestic postage, you want to just do free postage to everybody. So just go for flat, same cost to all buyers. Come down here, decide how many days it's going to take for you to deliver the item. I advise you to probably start from 3 to 5. You might be using various items from various suppliers with various couriers, so you might just want to type in, put in something like other courier 5 days, and that gives you a 5-day period, obviously, and that will also come up on the listing. Of course, it's good to have a shorter period of delivery, but if your item gets delivered outside that period, it could affect your delivery rate times. So that's something you want to think about going forward. And you come across here, you'll click on free P&P. Dispatch time, I would advise maybe 2 working days for a beginner, but you can do it within 24 hours. This will give you 24 hours from the time. 24 hours from the time. So if it went through, if your order came through at 12 p.m. today, you will get to basically to midnight the next day. You'll get 24 hours, and on the next day you'll get to 11:59 that day. 48 hours would be the same, and then to 11:59 on that, at the end of that 48-hour period of that day, whatever day the 48 lands on, is to the end of that day. All right. So okay, I suggest you start with just your own country at the moment. Don't bother start trying to do international at the moment, because that's got other requirements and whatnot. Then you'll have your item location. You'll type in your item location. No excluded locations. That's something that we can go through another time. It's not too important at the moment. It might be at your house, or it might be wherever it is. Usually this will come up with your home address or your address that you've typed in your account. It's not a big issue if it's in the same country. If you're shipping it from the UK, you're in the UK. It's not too much of a big issue. If you know where it is, then you can just type in the postcode and city of the place it is. Promoted listings, I don't believe you have them on a personal store. And obviously my store is not a brand new store, so that's why I've got fees here. If you're just starting for the first time, you shouldn't have any fees. Also, the reason why it's 36 pence is because, oh no, it's not because of that. Okay. Yeah, but when you first start, it should be nothing. And anyway, like I said, this money anyways, these are your listing fees, and they are accumulated for the end of the month, that's when you pay. But usually in the first month when you start, as I said, you don't get charged, I believe. So when you finished, you'll just go to list with displayed fees, and if there's any problems, it will automatically take you back to the problems, and it will, at the top here, will come like some red writing and it will say do this, do that, or whatnot. So after your first listing, should redirect you to PayPal, so you can connect your account with the PayPal. This is not to receive payments, but this is for your account to be connected for your payments, for your fees, which, as I said, in the first month is usually free, and then going forward, you'll be paying monthly at the end of every month usually. So yeah, that's everything to get a listing up. I think I've more than said enough, to be honest. So yeah, man, get your first listing up. I advise you to do at minimum 1 listing a day. You usually start with about 10, a maximum of 10 listings. So you should probably just start with doing 1 listing a day for 10 days. That would be good. And then when you get to like your 5th, 6th day, just get at me in the comments, and we can make a new video. Doesn't matter, like, I'm flexible. We can make a new video regarding any subject you guys want to delve into this whole dropshipping thing. So yeah, all I can say is, man, get started. If you're a beginner wanting to make money online, this is a great way to get started. In the next videos that we make, we can start to talk about what kind of income you can see, how many items you need to have up, we can talk about so many things, the methods of doing it, the methods of running your store. We can talk about the various parts of the listings. We can talk about dealing with eBay and PayPal. We can talk about a personal eBay account versus a business one. We can talk about so many things. So man, set your vision and go towards it, and just keep attacking all those challenges, and all the best in everything you're doing. So as I said, if you have any comments, any issues, any problems, just get at me in the comments. If you've just stumbled across this video and you just have a few questions, you're not really interested in the videos, doesn't really matter, just ask away, because I've learned a lot on YouTube and online period from people just adding value. So yeah, just ask away. So yeah, man, have a good day, good evening, and just as I said before, get started, make it happen. One love.